class of 2013. My name is Angie, and I am also a part of the class of 2013, only I'll be graduating from Barnard College instead of leadership, because I already did that. I wish I could physically be at leadership right now so you guys could tell me what you would actually like to hear from me about college, but because I can't be home during midterms, I made this video. I'm going to talk about what it was like to apply to college and my experiences at Barnard, and hopefully I will be able to convince you to have something similar to my experience. You know what? Something great about talking to you guys while I'm actually at school is that you guys get to see where I live my non-California life. What you are seeing right now, hopefully if my camera is working right, is Broadway. And across the street is Columbia University. And below you, you see a taxi passing by on its way downtown. And that is outside my window. So that is a little piece in New York City for you guys. It's definitely quieter than like Times Square or downtown Manhattan, but it still has a life of its own, kind of. It's very busy and active, and there's lots of fun things to do here. I know New York seems really far away to you guys, and so does college. In terms of time, but it's really not that far away. High school goes really fast, and even though college might seem out of reach right now, like especially a college across the country like Barnard, it can be a reality for you guys. Don't assume that a private school in New York City is not an option for you just because of where you come from or what your family's like or whatever. See, I'm from a low-income family, and I'm the first in my family to go to college, and because of that, nobody expected me to go to Barnard, but I'm here, so just saying. Alright, now I'll actually answer the questions your teachers gave me to answer. The first one is, what was my experience searching and applying to college? There is more to a college than how good it is. It's about environment. It's about feeling like your school fits your personal ideal of what you want out of a school, and even how it fits your personality. When I applied to school, it's probably important to say that the only out-of-state school I actually applied to successfully was Barnard, because even though I thought about applying to several East Coast schools, I never actually got around to it. All the other schools I applied to, 10 of the 11 total, were in California. Alright, next question. Why did I choose my college? What makes it unique? The shortest but best answer I can give as to why I chose Barnard was because of what I said earlier. My college fits my ideals of a school, and it fits my personality. Basically, it has everything I want. It's small, but bigger than leadership, so I don't always have to run into everybody I don't want to see. And it's far from home, which is something I really wanted. Even the California schools I applied to were far away from the Bay Area for the most part. And Barnard has small classes, and it's in a big city. I wanted both of those things. I wanted a small school with small classes, but I also wanted a big city. You know, this is what I've learned about going to an out-of-state school so far. It will push you in many different ways. Handling flights and vacation times will make you smart about scheduling things and managing money. You will have to make new friends because none or very few of your old friends will follow you across the country. And you will meet new kinds of people because you have left your California bubble, where everyone is very Californian, and you will learn about a new part of the country or the world if you go to an international school. Like I've been learning about New York City, because you will at some point have to leave campus, even if it's just for dorm snacks, and see the place around you. Finally, you will mature faster because you don't have the security net of being able to visit your parents on the weekends. Basically, even though going to college in general is a growing experience, going to college far away is even more so. Alright, I know that was off topic, but here's another reason, most important of all, for why I chose to go to Barnard. They made it the most financially possible for me. Like I said, I'm from a low-income family, and since there is no completely free college in this country, I had to think very carefully about where I went to college, because all the schools I got into gave me very different financial aid offers. And you know what? Barnard gave me the best offer. Barnard has me working less during the school year, and more of the way my schooling is paid for comes from the college's own money set aside specifically for students who can't afford full tuition. Therefore, the biggest reason that I am going to Barnard is because Barnard made college cheaper for me than even the public schools in California. Oh, and why Barnard is truly unique? There's honestly no other school like it. It's a small college, it's a women's college, I kind of didn't mention that yet, and it's in New York City. Let me just explore some of those differences. New York University is in New York, but it is not small. Columbia is across the street from Barnard, but it is not the supportive and special environment of a women's college. By the way, ladies, in case you hate the sound of a women's college right now, Barnard is a very different kind of women's college. Students live almost completely co-ed lives. Columbia people, both men and women, take Barnard classes, and Barnard women take classes at Columbia. We get all mixed up together on a daily basis, even though what Barnard students come home to after classes, and whatever else they're up to, is a single-sex environment filled with smart Barnard women. And also, unlike NYU, Barnard actually has its own campus, and it offers college housing for all 4 years, which means you don't have to worry about finding an apartment. I could spend hours talking about why Barnard is unique, but I think it's time to move on. Alright, what are my courses like? Are they what I expected? I have had all kinds of classes here, and it's only my second semester. Let's see. Most of my classes have mostly women in them, which makes sense because it's a women's college. And that's something I actually really appreciate about Barnard. Girls, you know when that boy you like always seems to have the same classes as you, and as a result you can't really concentrate in class? Yeah, that doesn't really happen at Barnard. I mean, last semester my Spanish class was half male, but that's not super common. It was nice, but not common. I feel like, in general, I can focus in my classes here because of a combination of an almost boy-free academic environment and having classmates who are really smart and can have a deep conversation with you. That's what my classes are really like. For example, my English seminar called Race, Education, and Democracy, my classmates and I rarely feel like we even get to finish our discussions that we start during the class period. One of the students even suggested that we start to meet together outside of class time so we can finish talking. We even plan to use the benefits of being in New York City by going to some cool cafe to finish our class discussions. I know this seems crazy to you right now because who would ever want to spend more time in school than you have to? But that's just what happens at Barnard when you put many Barnard women's minds together. Alright, last question. What am I planning on studying and what is required for the major? I really don't know what I'm going to study. In fact, most Barnard students start college by not knowing what their major will be. I'm thinking about several different things like urban studies, which encourages knowing stuff from a lot of different areas of study like architecture and psychology, and incorporates all that stuff you learn into a focus on how cities are formed and how people live in cities and stuff. I think it's pretty cool. I'm also thinking of doing the education program, or maybe even a major in English with a concentration in writing. Requirements for the education program include some student teaching and taking certain classes about, well, how to teach. The English major requires a lot of English classes, and the concentration in writing requires taking creative writing classes in addition to the English classes, so it's a bit more work. Basically, every major requires certain classes and certain numbers, and some special majors also require certain activities outside of class, like, for example, student teaching for education majors. Alright, so I know that was a lot of stuff to take in. The main thing I'd like you guys to take away from this little video is to always keep your mind open to possibilities that you might never have thought you were capable of, or even would be allowed to do, like go to a private college across the country for almost free. And if you have any questions for me, since I'm not actually there to answer them on the spot, you can ask Ms. Verve or Ms. Michaelis or someone else who has my email, and I'd like to give you advice or tell you more about what it's like to be here. So, good luck with the rest of the school year. Bye-bye.